Alright, welcome back, guys. I was just sitting down for a short break. I did get quite a few pots that she had hidden like everywhere. They were buried in a bunch of stuff, weeds and whatnot. But the biggest thing I was going to show you, and hopefully, if you do know what it is, just send me comment on the messaging. But these plants here were literally buried. I don't know how they even got green on them, growth from them. But Edna thinks that they're dahlias as well. Um, or not dahlias, stargaze lilies, the ones that I just got. But this is the stargaze lily right here that I got from Tractor Supply. I mean, of course, it's starting to sprout up, which is yay. And then the gladius right there. Uh, so, I mean, it doesn't really look like them, but maybe that's just because those are younger. And quite a few of these. I mean, this here is about like big underneath there. And so they've got a lot. They're very mature plants. I mean, of course, you got the pups, all these here, these smaller ones that I did put around them, and I separated them and cleaned them up and as best as I could. But I'm gonna personally wait until they start to flower before I decide to put some of them in my flower bed areas, and as well as she wanted some put in hers. This one is her pot, but this is one of those that she gets to take back with her. She could take all of them if she wanted, but she wanted me to have some too. But I'm gonna let her choose which ones she wants. But I know this one is hers, no matter what. And I still haven't done anything with these guys. It doesn't even say on here what they are, unless I'm reading it wrong. It says a medium, like I guess pot size. I mean, it's talking about the pot, but it says tulip bulbs. But I don't know if that's ready RFL. I don't know what that means. I know it's a tulip, but I just don't know what color they are and etc. You know. But anyway, I just haven't even been able to get to those. I've been so busy. I got more flowers there. But yeah. Oh, the okra. I don't know if I mentioned that that's popping up. I think I might have mentioned that. I got all these here, the cucumbers. I'm getting them ready. I just don't really want to put them out there until I know we're not going to have another freeze. A last freeze. And then my dad also ordered some flower seeds, and they're in bulbs, I believe. Something I've never seen before, but I've only been doing this flowers I've only been doing this year. But the produce gardening I've been doing for 2.5, 3 years now, and probably 5 years unsuccessful in Texas from the heat, and you're just not watering it. I still have a mystery over here. If anybody knows what it is, let me know. It did not have a seed when I separated it, when I took it out of the ground. Like, it didn't have like an acorn seed or any of that kind of stuff still on it. And what's awesome is she also gave me all these, which I had been finding. She had a treasure trove of, I mean, anybody who's new to potting and planting new stuff, I mean, you would have just had a treasure trove over there just of stuff. But I've gotten more into having a setup of 3 different pots, because if I'm going to go ahead and start selling some of this stuff, I'd make it more pleasing to the customers, and it looks more universal, and clean, I guess. But these, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. And I'll probably use them for my own personal use, or I'll give them away to, you know, new people who are just getting started. And it'll really help them out. Just like I got helped out with all the stuff that I've been doing. I mean, the planning world is, a lot of people are, love to like do trades with each other. I mean, you're both benefiting from it and you're both enjoying it, and you got a great conversation to go with it. I don't know why I'm coming back over here. I was gonna show something. It's supposed to rain, and I did go ahead and cover, or turn it and cover the compost with, I prefer using the boxes and just covering it up. I mean, that tape there is like some kind of paper tape. It's not plastic or whatnot. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But it should have no issue composting. And here's some of the, yeah, you already saw that. I already did a video on that, I know that. But the zucchini are doing a lot better. And the main thing I wanted to bring up was, for those of you who are like me, who are new to raising chickens, and I've only been doing it for about, I wouldn't even say a year yet, but it's getting close. I come in and I had to, you know, I'm making sure Tater Tot's doing better, and she is. Here, come here, Tater Tot. And you can see that her stomach is full now, and she's drinking water, she's eating, so she's doing really well. And I've been also checking all the rest of them, because I did change up their food a little bit, and I gave them, I'm gonna look it up, but I mean, if you know more than me, I gave them sweet peas and green beans that were out of a can that we didn't eat after cooking them and whatnot. And that was the day before she started not feeling good, so maybe it had something to do with that, but it wasn't expired. It wasn't, you know, we ate it ourselves. It was just the leftovers, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or she was egg bound. Either way, she's doing really well, and I'm still going to keep checking on them. And I tend to do this when you have chickens. I tend to do this like probably 5 to 8 times a day, coming in here, checking on them, making sure that they're all just moving around. And if I see one that's over there that's laying in one of the, you know, hen boxes, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It just, you know, they could be laying an egg, or they could just be wanting to sit on the eggs and keep them warm. But I've noticed, from just my personal experience, every time I take all the eggs out of here, which is throughout the day, they don't go over there and lay on them. They don't become, I forgot what it's called. It's like when they just sit there on the eggs. Oh, and I took those out, but they don't need those anymore, because I also don't want them staying on them either. So that's just what I did. I had them in there, those golf balls in there, for the first, I guess, 6 months, while they're, you know, just before they started, you know, mature enough to start laying eggs. But I took them out like a couple weeks ago, and I put them in cleaned them all up, and I don't know, I might play with those balls sometime and hit them across the fence over to my neighbor. But yeah, just if you have chickens, just make sure you check on them at least 3 or 4 times throughout the day, and they won't tell you when they're not feeling good. You just gotta kind of keep an eye on them, watch them walking around, and make sure that they're fine, basically. But they won't tell you when they're in pain until the moment that they're about to die. So it's hard to tell when that happens. So I already watered everything. Got plenty of water in the pond, that outdoor pond, and I went ahead and took buckets and poured them in each one of these instead of using the hose. And just, we're gonna have rain anyway coming hopefully tomorrow, but we've had times where it says it's gonna rain and it don't. Many times of that. And then sometimes whenever it's not raining, not gonna rain, and all of a sudden it does. So yeah, we cleaned up the whole side, and she did an awesome job. I mean, she was out there helping me the whole time, and it looks amazing. I kind of want to show the progress that we did. Like, hang on, we got, these are gonna be, I mean, wait until you see what she puts in there. She's gonna make it look amazing. And then, you know, we cleaned all this up, straightened it up. Easier for her to get in and out of there. Put all her stuff out. Yeah. So those, wait, no, those are not the same thing. But those plants were in here. And then I helped her trim this tree down because she really doesn't want the tree. She wants me to take it out. But it looks amazing. And then cleaned up all this and moved everything. She's gonna start planting soon. Those, I can't wait till they pop up. These are gonna be pretty. Oh yeah, I got a couple of them. That's the dahlia. But the lilies, that I don't know. And I like this. We're still working on it, but she's got a great design in there. Ideas of how she wants it to look, and we're gonna clean all this up later, but you know, a little bit at a time. I mean, it's not like you snap your fingers and everything just happens. But so that's probably about it right now. But yeah, just check on your chickens, keep an eye on them. That's how I noticed it yesterday. If I wasn't always, well, not yesterday, the day before, I think. If I wasn't adamant and going in there and you know, checking the chickens every 3 or 4 hours, and I know not everybody can do that, but as often as you can, and then you just, you know, sit with them for a minute if you need, or just watch them. And you'll start to, that's how I noticed that she had been in her nesting box the whole time and very tired. Like, I would try to get her out of there. She had a couple eggs that she was sitting on, so I removed them. I removed them, and then, hang on, let me see if I can just turn this around. Hopefully you got it. My tripod's not working very well, but anyway. So I moved her, and then I moved all the eggs out, and then I let her go into the pen area to see if she'll eat and get some water, and she did. She got some water, but she didn't go eat. And then once I left, I came back about a couple hours later, and that's when I was building the shelves for the plants. And I went back in there, and she was right back in the same spot, but no egg, and still real tired. So I was like, okay, she's trying to lay an egg, and I know one of them laid a couple times at least, or a couple of them laid some double yolk eggs. I mean, some big eggs. So, you know, for a minute I was like, oh, maybe she's just tired from laying a big egg, because there was one of them too. But no, or she just probably did get hurt. And one of the biggest things that I found out on chickens, especially within the first 2 to 3 years, what will happen is the most logical reason the most likely reason they die is from their reproductive system. So if they have a bad egg, or you know, something happens in there and they can't lay an egg, you just got to stay on top of it, because Even if they're not showing it to you, uh, they are in pain. So I mean, you got to make a judgment call there at that point if they get too tired. But fortunate for Tater Tot, she came back kicking the next day like nothing. But oh man, that one stank. I smell their chicken poop all day long, but that one, it was like a rotten egg, and it kind of had me nervous for a minute when doing a little bit of research. So I just stayed on top of it, and yeah, I'm just glad she's all right, and hopefully your chickens are as well. That that you have if you have any, but. I didn't realize how much work all this was going to be, but I enjoy it. So I stick to a minimum on cost as much as I can, and I do all the work myself as much as I can, including I'm trying to get off of feeding the chickens any store-bought food, even when it is really good. Yeah, but it comes to the cost issue, and I'm trying to see, and I'll have to do a little bit more research on it, but I'm just giving them the food around here, and they should be just fine with that. And then sometimes I guess if there's something that doesn't have enough calcium in it or something, I just give them back their eggshells, that kind of thing. But if you do put your eggshells into your potting soil mix and such, don't do that. Eggshells take a while to decompose, so you need to put those in the compost, and that's just going to be in there in the compost for that year. Like I do yearly compost, I turn it and everything, but that compost is composting for the whole year, and it gets pretty hot in there too, in that compost, and you can feel the heat. And then I mix in the chicken manure in with it, which is another thing. Don't put the chicken manure directly onto the top of your plants, because it will heat that pot or that ground right where they're at, and it'll cook that plant, most likely. So you always want to put that in the compost, or bury it way deeper, which won't give you any nutrients to the plant. So again, best to put it in the compost. I made a mistake, and I put it all out there in the mix, and all those raised beds, all those beds on the ground, the ground beds, have chicken manure in them. And as well as all these raised beds in here have chicken manure in the mix. However, it's not on the top, but it's in the mix, and it's probably about 3 or 4 inches down. And the temperature of these raised beds in the greenhouse are roughly around 70 to 72 degrees persistently for the most part. And that's perfect. So that's not bothering. The chicken manure I have in there is not bothering and creating the compost that you would have inside a natural compost. Let's see. If anybody ever has any questions, or how I do something, just send a comment, send a message in the comments, and ask me. I'll try to help you out, but mostly I'm still new to all of this, but I know some. I know what to fertilize, what not to fertilize, how much water things need and whatnot. And again, I've learned from a lot of my mistakes. I'm really ready for that winter squash to start popping up. And I've got probably 8 on one vine, and I pruned it to where it's just that one vine. Like every time I tried to branch off, nope. I took that sucker off, and I have it going on one vine. And I also didn't let it flower until it got to the height that I wanted it to, about 2 feet up. I took all those leaves off, and man, it's got a lot. I mean, overnight almost, they just all popped up. There's like 8 or 9 of them, so I'm waiting for that so I can pollinate them, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And I mean, there are many ways of doing it, but how I do it inside the greenhouse when it comes to squash, I'll show you that here in the future, pretty shortly, probably in about 3 or 4 days from now. And I never did get around to building the other 2 shelves or the covers yet, but I will get around to them. Just after so much transplanting I gotta do, and then so much other stuff I gotta do for just the chores of the garden, it's very time consuming. So when I get a day that's kind of low on the low end, yeah, I'm gonna book it and get it done. But now it's just already almost 7 o'clock, and I'm pretty exhausted now. But I just got a few more things to do, and I'll be done for the day. My girlfriend's coming over, and we're gonna hang out, probably watch a movie. But y'all have a great day.